What's up, YouTube? What's going on, man? You guys already know who it is. Sports God TV, Josh Cribbs, where we talk sports like religion. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share the content, jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking.
Yes,
So
sir.
what's up? What's up, brother?
Man, everything is good, baby, man. How did you turn out? How did your picks turn out? Because one game in particular was the
Uh-huh.
Commanders. I was
Uh-huh.
watching, and I
Right.
was upset that they didn't turn out like you wanted it to, man. Talk about it. What happened to your boys, man?
Man, the defense played outstanding, holding the Minnesota Vikings to 7 points up until the last quarter, up 10 in the fourth quarter. Taylor Heineke threw a crucial interception late in the game, which Minnesota eventually, offense like that, you keep giving them opportunities, eventually they're going to score. They put pressure on Kirk Cousins all day. They forced him into a pick like I knew that they would, but he made some key throws down the stretch to help that team, which they've been doing all year, man. They've been winning close
Right.
games all year long, and they prevailed. The Commanders let one get out their
But you
hands.
know what though, and I didn't mean to force you into this game so soon, but I was watching the game closely because you had brought my attention to it, and they was going down to the wire. Because remember, I wanted to call you during the game to say, "Oh, look
Uh
at
huh.
Cook,"
Uh
and
huh.
then
Uh huh.
Jefferson. And I told you it was those keys. Those were the guys. Their big name, big play guys were the key factors in them staying in the game. Not just the late turnover. Because understand they were trying to stay in the game and to try to come back and capitalize on that last drive. And it
Absolutely.
forces quarterbacks like Heineke, who I feel he has more left in the tank before he reached the highest level of his competition.
Uh
He's
huh.
not quite there yet to where he's leading them back from coming behind and then going down against a team like Minnesota and having victory. But I was telling you, man, those big play guys, Cook, Jefferson, they showed up big, man. And Cousins, I was on your side. I was
Uh
like,
huh.
man, ain't no way Cousins gonna go in there. The Skins gonna have his number. And for the most part of the game, they was keeping it tight. They was shutting them down.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm going to have to add celebration that Cousins was having on the plane ride home after he beat the Commanders. Man,
You
he
like
had the
that?
goal. I mean, he had the goal. He was all faking like he was the man, knowing that he
Uh huh.
didn't play really that good. However, he did enough to win against your Commanders, man. It was crazy.
Absolutely, man. And speaking on the three games that I picked last week, man, I went 0-3.
Oh,
So yeah,
it was a
that's
tough week, man. It was a
it
tough
was
week.
definitely a
Go
tough
through them.
week.
Let's go
So
through them, baby.
the Buccaneers and the Rams, I picked the Rams, man, and both offenses looked really anemic or their defenses were just super great. It was either one or the other. And I remember both of us discussing real quick about Tom Brady, which Brady would show up, considering the news that came out about him and his wife
Giselle,
finally,
yeah.
yeah, splitting up and everything like that. And in that fourth quarter, he showed up because they let him stick around, man. I think the Rams stunk it up. The Bucks, for the most part, stunk it up. But Tom Brady, man, figured out a way to win, and maybe this may get them on the road. What do you think about that game, Josh?
I kind of agree with you. Both of the teams were stinking it up. It was like, man, it's some crappy ball from the returning champs, and then the year before the Super Bowl champs, they were
Uh-huh.
really stinking it up. And it was the GOAT who came back in the end when it counted and
Yep.
helped propel his team to a victory. Other than that, it was the battle of who gonna stink it up the less. And that team was going to win because Brady didn't look good until the end. But again,
Correct.
it's not who fights the hardest that wins, it's who fights the hardest the longest. And it was Tom Brady, the GOAT, man.
Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did take care of that. And then, even though I knew Geno Smith in Seattle and Pete Carroll and company were very hot, I went against them thinking Kyler Murray and company would show up big time versus the
Man.
Seahawks, but they laid one, Josh. What happened in that football game?
And you know what? I have Kyler Murray in fantasy, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to trade him. He's
Ah,
not. It's not that he's not. He's still producing numbers, but it's
uh-huh.
always kind of those garbage points.
Yeah.
Towards the end when they already lost the game. Now the defense is playing a prevent, and he's getting
Uh-huh.
a lot of the dinks and the dunks. But one thing I had him on my fantasy was because he could provide. He could move the chain with his feet, and he could
Yep.
also, been known to score a lot of rushing touchdowns. However, man, I think we need to give props where it's due. Geno and Pete Carroll, what he has been able to do in Seattle, I
Yep.
mean, we can't keep counting him out when he's faced against, top tier quarterbacks because Kyler Murray, he's a top tier quarterback. He's in the
Mm-hmm.
top 10, I think, and I would say argue he's in the top 7. And I'll
Okay.
say that. So he played Geno played against a top tier quarterback and he won. So we got to start putting him in the conversation, at least for this season, as a top tier quarterback. I think this season he's definitely top 10, and his team and his record, he's proven that, given the right talent, DK Metcalf, a veteran such as Lockett,
Mm-hmm.
the young rookie running back who they got.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker. Yep.
Geno Smith is here, man. He's here to stay, and he said it earlier. He was like, y'all doubting him, y'all counting him out, but he ain't got none of that. I forgot the words that he said, but
Yeah.
it's become a meme now because everybody keep counting him out, but not no more, man. Geno is the real deal.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because it's sort of showing now that Seattle won that trade
Right.
between Russ and letting Russ go. Because
Yes.
when you look at the statistical categories, Geno is ahead of he's in top 10 of every major quarterback category right
Right.
now, and Russ is at the
I
bottom.
feel sorry for Russell because I do want him to play well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good, he seemed like he's doing all the things off the field as well as on the field to be a, upstanding and a great quarterback. It's just not happening in the win column. He's throwing balls behind. I don't even want to start with Russ, man. But Geno, man, Geno is the truth this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So real quick, right, for my fantasy picks, I had Jalen Hurts. He had a great game, but not typical Jalen Hurts, but he had a great game fantasy
Right.
wise for me. He gave me like 82 points in the league that I play in the score system that I play in, which is fairly
Right.
decent. Kenneth Walker, he had a great game. He rushed for over 100 again, 2 touchdowns.
Ooh.
That's the running back for Seattle
You
that I was
told me.
telling you to keep your eyes
You
on. Yes,
did.
sir.
You
Yeah.
did. I couldn't get
Uh,
him though. I tried
yeah,
to
yeah,
get him
because
in
he's gone,
fantasy.
man. Everybody
The
knows.
secret's out.
Everybody
Yeah,
knows.
the secret
Yeah.
is out. Yep.
Devontae Adams, man, he had 10 receptions for almost 150 with 2 TDs, so I had him down there. Mark Andrews, he didn't play, and the Commanders, they defense held it down. I just feel like they was let down by their offense, so it was a decent amount of picks that performed pretty well in my
Right.
opinion.
I would
Uh,
say, that one that you just said, Andrews, his
yep,
backup played pretty well. Likely,
he he did, he
he
did.
played really well. I was able to snag him in
Oh,
fantasy, and
uh-huh.
he scored a touchdown. So he kind of demonstrated, that Lamar Jackson actually he works that tight end with
Yeah,
regardless of if it's Andrews. If you give him another talent at
uh-huh.
receiver, he's going to work that guy. He did it with Likely.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that was a smart pickup, man. Good GM move, man.
Yeah, absolutely, baby.
You might got to go holler at the office up there. You know what I'm talking about. See what's going on for you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So look, week 10, man. We got week 10. We're gonna preview this week 10, man. Obviously, this is a game that I'm not really interested in, but I'm gonna speak about it because it's tonight between the Falcons and the Panthers. Word is in Carolina, it's gonna be terrible, terrible weather. I expect a lot of run, less pass type of game, but I'm gonna lean. If I gotta lean anywhere, I'm gonna lean towards the 4-5 Atlanta Falcons to beat Carolina in their home. What do you think about that game?
I agree. What Atlanta is doing right now, they have a committee of running backs who's actually playing really good football, the whole lot of them, especially with the addition of Cordell Patterson, who's back off of injury. He came in
Absolutely.
right away, and they put him on the goal line. The other running back, their committee has been getting the ball down in scoring position, and then they just keep giving the ball to Cordell Patterson, and he's making it happen. So as long as they continue to have a strong run game and being able to pass it when they can, I think Atlanta Falcons is better, especially because you got the Carolina Panthers who's rebuilding now. They let go of Christian McCaffrey. They have the young quarterback in there trying to see what he can do because they want to know if they have to make moves at the quarterback position. They will, but they want to know if they want to keep him, for that ride for the team to rebuild. You might see Baker Mayfield, but with the team he has now, no, sir. Atlanta all the way. The only good thing they have is that it's in Carolina, and I don't think that's going to be good enough.
I don't think it's going to be good enough either. Speaking of Cordell Patterson, man, he put the shoulder pads on the linebacker. I can't think of his name. But when I say he trucked that man, he ran him smooth over. So look for Cordell Patterson to have a big game.
Absolutely.
Moving on. Monday night, man, back to my Commanders versus the 8-0 flying high Eagles, man. Listen, under the radar, it's going to be a tough game up in Philly. A great NFC East rival.
Ain't your man Jalen Hurts?
My man Jalen Hurts will be starting in my fantasy lineup this week. But I do feel confident. I do feel confident that the Eagles' perfect season will end on Monday night. So I'm leaning with my Commanders.
I got you with that. I don't agree. But you're biased right now, but I understand that this is definitely trap game scenario for the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. It's about time for them to lose one. They're probably looking at the next few games ahead. They're probably looking past the Commanders. I'm going to just say that. Right now on paper, the Eagles are a better football team. However, this is one of those trap games that the coaches probably – I'm not saying that they're overlooking, but they're not putting too much stock in this because they're looking at playoffs now. The Eagles are a playoff team. They're high seeded right now, so they can afford to take a few L's here and there while they beat some of those premier teams down the line and get ready to walk into the playoffs. So I'm not going to go as far to say the Commanders will win.
Okay.
I just think that the Eagles are primed and nice and right for an L. That's all I'm going to say with that. I'm not saying that they're going to win it, though, because Jalen Hurts, man, he has a well-oiled machine right now. Even though when he struggles, other guys pick up the slack. Whether it's coaching, whether it's the defense, or other athletes they got, they kind of have it moving, or else they wouldn't be undefeated. So I'm going with the Eagles, but don't be surprised if it's not a trap.
Absolutely. Good analysis on that, John. I got the 5-3 Chargers and the 4-4 49ers coming in fresh off the bye. Christian McCaffrey's dug into the playbook a little bit more. I'm sure Shanahan has schemed up some more ways to get him in open space. I'm going to lean towards the San Francisco 49ers at home to take care of Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and that Chargers team. So who do you got in that contest?
You know what? I want to agree with you. It's just the quarterback.
Garoppolo, you don't like.
I'm not sold on Jimmy G. I just he's not it. He's not it. I've been saying it for the whole season. He is not it. I want to ride with them for this game because the talent that they have. Christian McCaffrey came in right away producing for that football team. It's just Jimmy G. Jimmy G is not the guy to lead them to the next level. And the next level being to the playoffs right now, because they have the team to do it. And that's the only fear that I have for that team. But they're at home. I think the Chargers are kind of shaky a little bit. I'm going to ride with you. I'm going to say San Francisco wins that. And it's going to be a close one. I'm thinking 27-24, San Francisco.
27-24 doesn't sound out the ballpark. Pretty good, Josh. Next up, man, a primetime game between the Minnesota Vikings, who we just spoke about, and possibly Josh Allen being out the lineup for the Buffalo Bills, which makes me
Really?
think, ooh, yeah, he's had an injury that's been upgraded as far as his elbow is concerned. I don't know if that's a
So who
UCL.
they playing? Who he playing?
Minnesota. They're at home though. Buffalo
Ooh.
is at home. But me personally, uh, I'm gonna lean towards the Minnesota Vikings, a non or 75% if he plays, or Josh Allen this team against that red hot Minnesota Viking team that know how to win close games. I believe this will be a close game regardless if Allen plays or not. But I think Minnesota, when you mention prime, I think they are prime for close games. They have proven that all season. But without Josh Allen, I don't see the Buffalo Bills winning this game.
Okay.
Can you talk
I'm
me
I,
off of that?
I'm gonna go with you. I think even without Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills defeat Minnesota because of what you said about Minnesota last week
Uh
about
huh.
Kirk Cousins. I
Yeah.
don't think Kirk Cousins has enough momentum from last week's win to carry him over the team, the defense, because you got to understand, Buffalo has a great defense as well. They've
Absolutely.
been knocking heads down, and I think that's what will be the tell of the game, defense. They're going to feel like they got to lock down Dalvin Cook, and they got to put somebody over the top of Jefferson. I think that'll be the tell of that whole game. Defense wins it for Buffalo. It might be a low-scoring game, but if
Hmm.
Josh Allen doesn't play, it's going to be a low-scoring game. The defense is going to come up big for Buffalo, and it's going to be one of those, 14-3, 14-6, 14-7 type games because, Buffalo will struggle to put up numbers with a backup quarterback. Again, I say that cautiously because they're a great football team. They're a Super Bowl caliber team. Even
Yep.
without Josh Allen, they have the ability to be a playoff team off of defense alone. So I think just because of what you said last week about the Commanders in Minnesota, I think that's why with or without Josh Allen, the Minnesota Vikings will lose against the Buffalo Bills. Mark my words.
Keep 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 in mind that the Vikings do have Hawkinson, and he fit right in last Sunday. He had a big game versus the Commanders, so you can pay a lot of attention to Jefferson if you like, but just keep in mind that Hawkinson
Man,
is
they
on that field too.
man, they got some heavy hitters. Jordan Poyer been playing lights out, man, and
Yes,
I
sir.
mean it's just they're analytical as far as like how they defend. They watch film. They're a good football team. They're solid, and again, I mean on defense. So it's gonna be
Hmm.
tough for teams to like come to try to win one over on them because I feel like Buffalo Bills cross their T's and they dot their I's as much as anybody. And to beat them, you just got to beat them straight up. And I just don't think Kirk Cousins he has two in him. I count him out on this one.
All right, all right. All right, moving forward, man, to the little segment, man. Low key fantasy picks. Listen, man, for my quarterback this week, now this is a low key pick. He tore it up last week. If you were a for the Chicago Bears, the dual threat quarterback uh, that had a big fantasy week last week. Rushed for set the NFL record for quarterbacks in a single game. Rushed for I believe like a buck 75. Threw for another buck 80. So that dual threat capability, as far as fantasy go, is big time, man. It's a
I'm
big
with you
time.
on that. He's been a heavy pickup for a lot of fantasy owners right now, and I root for the Bears. I'm not going to lie. I root for them when they're playing against teams because of Justin Fields. They're trying to put a team around him worthy because
Mhm.
he has skill.
Yeah.
I question the coordinator sometimes and the way they use him.
Hmm.
The type of offense they run, I think, is not good for Justin Fields' talent. I hate the way that they're using him kind of like the Commanders use RG3. What got
Right.
RG3 hurt though?
Okay.
So they run with Justin Fields like he's Lamar Jackson. Like there's planned runs every series. I don't necessarily like that, but I do like Justin Fields. He's leading the team in score and rushing. I mean, he's doing an excellent job. He adds to the running back committee, and he throws the ball like the best of anybody. So I'm rooting for him. Definitely a good fantasy pickup.
Yes, sir. Running back Damian Pierce for the Houston Texans. A low-key fantasy pick that I like. I like the matchup that he has. It looks like he's a heavy part of the rotation as far as the touches go and that offense. I like Pierce this week, man. What you think about him?
I think he's shown a lot of promise. Lovie Smith and the offensive coordinator both were mic'd up last game, and they were talking about how exciting they are about him and about how he's about to have a good game. So I was able to watch them talk about him as he, rips up defenses. Single-handedly, he's a good talent. Not necessarily the team, but Pierce runs hard. He creates holes. He runs after he's contacted by defenders. Definitely a great pickup again, but he's gone. The secret is out on him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then I got my man, Jalen Waddle, Mr. Waddle. Hey, he be killing me every time he get in that end zone, man. He got the whole team doing the Waddle dance. He probably got the city of Miami doing the Waddle dance. I just think with all the attention, it's hard. You got to pick and choose which one you want to defend.
What you about to say right now, the attention on Tyreek, right?
Tyreek, yes, sir.
And I think that's been the tell for Waddle. I think Waddle has benefited tremendously with the addition of Tyreek, because now they got somebody else to worry about. And when you're picked as a defensive coordinator, you got to pick, like you was about to say. I heard you about to say, I take the words right out your mouth. You understand that if you're a defensive coordinator, who do you choose to take away? You can't double everybody. So whoever you're doubling, the other person, the other phenom will be single covered, and it's Waddle. They picked Tyreek to double coverage. So Waddle's been eating up yards after his yak after catch as well, getting them short dinks and dunks, bombs, crosses, everything, buffet style. Hopefully he doesn't do it this week, because they got my dogs, baby. They play the Browns.
Sir.
I'm hoping they find a way to, either double Tyreek and then have Ward, who's coming back off a concussion protocol, to single up, man up on Waddle, or vice versa. I just hope they got a plan to contain this unique, dynamic offense.
Speaking of the Browns and Dolphins, they're playing in Cleveland, correct?
Nope. They're going down to Miami. Miami, baby.
How you got that game panning out?
I got the Cleveland Browns, and it's not because I'm biased, but I'm biased. I just think the Browns can play with anybody, so they have to win. If you look at the way their schedule is, they 3-5. They kind of have to win to keep themselves around. They have the tools. All they have to do is run the football. They can run the football and throw dinks and dunks, and then you force a good offense like the Miami Dolphins to have to answer every drive. So the Browns just have to score, eat all of that time off the clock, keep Tyreek, Waddle, and Tua Tagovailoa off the field. Keep those guys off the field by having long drives. And the Cleveland Browns have shown to be able to do that. They haven't necessarily shown to finish games, but they do have long drives that keep all opposing offenses off the field and minimize their big plays. So if they can do that, I think Tua Tagovailoa, he'll struggle a little bit, because he'll always be playing catch up to try to add something to the game, because the Browns won't give him a lot of opportunities to have the football. Hopefully.
So, and they are off a bye week, right?
They're fresh off a bye week.
So that may play a major factor.
Hopefully. Yes, indeed.
Yep. Tight end. I got Goddard. I'm sorry, Goddard for the Philadelphia Eagles. Seems like other than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, obviously, he is Hurts, one of his favorite targets. He's had some decent games.
Goddard is the reason they got rid of Hurts, or they were able to let Hurts go to the Arizona Cardinals. He's been promising. He's been answering. He's been a go-to guy, like you said, and he's been getting the job done. And yards after catch. He's just not one of those chunky type athletes that just catch the ball possession guy. He is mobile enough to make a guy miss and keep the yards after catch going. So that's an excellent pickup right there, if you're able to get him. Again, He's gone in most leagues.
I
He's
have
gone.
him on my fantasy in another league that I'm in, and he is my
Wow,
starting tight end.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely, man. Definitely good pickup for myself on that one. And then last but not least, the defense. And then this is based on if Josh Allen isn't going to play. But whether he plays or not, I'm locked and loaded with the Minnesota Vikings defense against the Buffalo Bills. Now, we know the Buffalo Bills is the top offense in the NFL. And the Vikings, I don't know where they are statistically, but I'm sure they're up at the top when it comes to defense because they generally hold their opponents below 20 points or so. But I just got faith in them, especially if Josh Allen doesn't play. And you already mentioned that it could possibly be a low-scoring game. So
Absolutely. I like
I
that
think,
pick. You're that's very strategic. My only thing with that for people who trying to pick up a guy when a quarterback is said to be gone, what if
uh-huh,
Josh Allen plays? You better
yeah,
have another defense to go with because you'll lose
uh-huh.
your defense at being a negative points. If Josh Allen plays, your defense is going to have negative 10. So you better have two. You better carry two defenses. Get rid of one of those lower tier guys. Carry Minnesota defense, but be prepared for Josh Allen and start. So you're going to have to carry another defense just in case Josh Allen starts.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, look, man, I look forward to coming back, revisiting the recap for week 10 to see how everything has fared as far as the picks go, predictions go, and then the fantasy picks. And also to the audience out there that don't know our history and how
Right,
far we go back, we're going
right.
to tap into a little bit of that next week. And we just going
Absolutely.
to have to, reflect
30
and
years, man.
30 plus years,
Yeah,
man.
man.
It's a lot of history there. I'm excited about next show for sure.
Absolutely, baby.
And man, if you guys haven't already, man, make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button, man. Share the content, jump in the comments. Let's
Absolutely.
get it cracking. And we out. Until the next time.